that if you're not good speaker right now, if you don't speak good English, then should you try, and why you should try? Look, it's not important that you need to be extremely brilliant speaker or editor at this point in time. You will improve eventually if you keep on debating. But even if you don't improve, and even if you're not a good speaker, it's okay, and it's definitely possible for you to start debating and do good at that activity also. I have personally noticed a lot of people who came from completely crude Hindi background, never knew anything about English, and right now are extremely great debaters across the world or in the Indian circuit. So I have known a lot of those people, and I have seen a lot of people growing in that particular way. But even if you are not able to speak a lot of good English, if you're not extremely fluent, if you're not grammatically perfect, it doesn't matter, because debating is not about being grammatically perfect. I think that I might have made 50 mistakes in these 33 minutes right now, and I'm not grammatically perfect, but still I can debate and I can win rounds. So why that is happening? Because in debating, the good thing is that we don't listen to the speaker that is he grammatically correct. We just listen to what arguments he is making. So the quality of arguments is something which is essential for us, and which we want to focus on, and we want to go ahead and listen to and look forward to, that what arguments you are making. So at the time you are making good arguments, till that time you are good to go. Even if you're not very good English speaker or orator, even if you're not extremely fluent with your speaking, that's okay. It's not something which is bad or you cannot do good, because arguments matter. Your way of speaking is not something which is essential for a debater to start. And eventually I can guarantee that you will definitely grow as a speaker, you will definitely improve as a speaker, you will develop if you keep on practicing. So at that point in time, that problem also gets eliminated, that you don't know how to speak at this point in time, you are not a good speaker. So these things gonna eliminate eventually. But even if not, you can keep debating, because debating is not about speaking only. It is about thinking, it is about presenting, it is about the quality of arguments you are making, because you are judged on your quality of arguments and not the quality of speaking you are doing, about your fluency and about being extremely flamboyant, speaking extremely fast, and presenting in a extremely beautiful manner. All these things are very secondary in debating, and that is the good thing about debating, that any individual has the option and resource to start it, irrespective of the fact that you come from a very highly qualified background of English speaking world, or you come from background of individual who never spoke English, never was in an environment where people spoke English. So it's completely okay and fine for you to start, even if you're not extremely good orator or that. That being said, now getting into the basics of debating, format of debating, and all those things, that what this extremely looks like. So basics of debating. So this debating is little bit different from the debating which we used to do in schools. If some of you guys must be participating in your schools in past in debate competitions, they were necessarily about speech competition. They were not debate per se, they were speech competition, in which you used to be given, तुमको एक point एक motion दे दिया जाता होगा, एक topic, तुम उस पर प्रिपेयर करते होगे 5 मिनट, you used to give a monologue on that, and that was termed as debating necessarily in maximum schools. If you're not from a very qualified or a very privileged school, or schools which were extremely hi-fi schools kind of, so if you're from a small city or small town, or you're from a small school or a normal school, then this debating looks like a speech, then is debating. So that was the format of debating at school level. Or the second, it might be that GD, that is group discussion, in which a bunch of people are sitting shouting, and just like they're just not abusing each other but doing everything else, they might even fight. So that is group discussion, was also what kind of a debating format which we used to do in school times. And I think, yeah, these are the two basic forms of debating which we did in school times, like large part of us, if we debated at all. So this university debating or law school debating is different from this. And two like biggest formats, or two the famous formats which exist, a lot of formats exist like Australs and a lot of formats, but you will get to know about all those when you get into debating and you start debating and you get certain amount of experience in that. But the two basic formats which you need to understand, which are highly recognized, or maximum यही दो formats होते हैं इंडिया में भी और इंडिया के बाहर भी. So this online debating has that avenue of you participating in international tournaments also, about tournaments about from Canada, USA, Africa, Malaysia, Indonesia, and all those countries, in every country, Australia, Singapore, and all those. So you have that option. So APD and BPD, that is Asian Parliamentary Debate and British Parliamentary Debate. Slight differences are there between these two formats. I'm gonna start with AP and then I'm gonna delve into BP. So AP is basically about two teams will be there of 3 members each. So team X with A, B, C member, team Y with D, E, F member. 3 members, both sides. Now a motion will be given to you 30 minutes prior to start of the debate. So if debate you are debating, your team will be there, the opposition team will be there, a motion will be given to you. You will have to prepare your case, your arguments, your analysis, your assertions, your examples, your reasonings, or whatever you want to speak in the debate in 30 minutes. So you'll debate, you'll go ahead with your teammate, you will discuss, you 3 people will discuss among yourselves that what you want to speak in that. You will discuss your entire case. You cannot use internet. You have to debate on your own. You have to think on your own. You have to discuss अपने में ही वो 3 लोग, and then you have to speak in the debate. So you get 30 minutes to prepare in Asian Parliamentary Debate in that particular format. 3 people, both the teams, as I told you guys. After that, after preparing, debate starts. Per person gets 7 minutes 20 seconds to speak. So you'll get 7 minutes 20 seconds to present your case. So the format and the flow of the debate goes like this. One side is a government side, one side is an opposition side. So this will be allotted to you before you prepare for the motion. So 2 teams are divided. One team has been allotted government side, one team has been allotted opposition side. After that, motion will be given. If you are government, you will prepare in support of that motion. If you are opposition, you will prepare against that motion. For example, the motion is, this house supports democracy. If you're government, you will say, yes, we support democracy. Democracy is good. Democracy is great. Democracy is beautiful. If you're opposition, you will say, no, democracy is bad. Democracy is bullshit, or whatever you're gonna say, parliamentary language. So democracy is not good or democracy is bad. So you're gonna use these kind of things. If you're opposition, you're gonna use supportive arguments of democracy. If you're proposition. So this is what you're gonna prepare in those 30 minutes, that what you're gonna say on this motion. Once preparation time ends, all the 6 speakers come, then the flow of debate starts. First speaker is given by side government, and the first speaker is called Prime Minister. Second speech is given by opposition's first speaker, who is called Leader of Opposition. Third speech from side government, Deputy Prime Minister. Fourth speech from side opposition, Deputy Leader of Opposition. Fifth speech from side government, Prop Whip or Government Whip. Or sixth speech, and that is the last constructive speech of the debate, is given by the opposition side speaker, who is opposition whip. And after that, reply speech and all those, I'm not getting into every detailing because that's going to take 5 hours to go ahead and explain everything. So I'm going to just give you basic skeleton that how debating happens. Every speaker will get 7 minutes 20 seconds to speak. In those minutes, you have to speak your own case and you have to rebut your opposition's case. So for example, if leader of opposition comes to speak after prime minister, then leader of opposition has to give his own case from opposition side, and also he has to rebut the points which prime minister has said. So for example, if prime minister has said that democracy is good and democracy allows every individual to vote and select according to their will, that who will represent them at the union level or at the bigger level in politics. If this was the argument by prime minister, leader of opposition will say that no, these things are marginal benefits. Democracy is problematic because there is just an illusion of choice and voting. Democracy is about majority, and people who are influential in the society guide everything which happens in society. They dictate things. People control people who are marginalized section of society. Marginalized section of society don't have any choice to begin with. This just looks like an illusion. This is just a fraud on the idea of people, that we say that look, you also have a right to vote. These things never exist. A lot of polarization exists due to these democratic elections happening, and all these things are happening. So there is no freedom of choice at the end of the day. It is just an illusion. So we don't think that democracy is something which is extremely good, because this is also kind of that format or form where few people concentrate power and dictate everyone else due to a lot of discrimination existing. So the leader of opposition has to rebut prime minister. When DPM comes, he has to explain his own case. he has to rebuild on his prime minister's case, and then he has to rebut leader of opposition, which leader of opposition has already told. So he will rebut कि no, this is not an illusion, you have the right to vote, but even if it is an illusion, we still have that right to exercise. Still we are not being dictated by every individual. We have laws, we have regulations which are helping us. We have regulations and penal laws and all those things to go ahead and complain. We have judiciary which can gonna go ahead and take care of us if someone is doing anything bad to us, and all those things which exist in democracy. So I'm not gonna give you a lot of good points right now, but I'm just telling you that how debate goes and the flow happens. So then the DPM will rebut leader of opposition. After that, DLO comes from opposition, deputy leader of opposition. He will rebut both the speakers, prime minister and deputy prime minister. He will extend on his previous speaker. Then prop will rebut these two previous speakers. Then op will come, he will rebut all these three speakers. So this is how the debating goes to begin with. So you have two teams in Asian parliamentary debates, three speakers, both sides. You get a motion, you prepare on that in 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time has been given to you. It's generally 25 to 30 minutes. You prepare on that on your own. Then you start 7-minute, 20-second speeches. You give your point, you rebut your opposition. That's how you debate. And after that, the individual who is judging you, who is the adjudicator, he gets 7-minute, 20 seconds to present his point, that why he gave the debate to government, if he has given it to government, or if he has given the win to opposition team, then he will explain that why he gave the win to opposition team in 7 to 8 minutes. Then the teams will mark that adjudicator. That adjudicator will mark every individual speaker and will tell that which team won. So this is how the flow of debating goes in Asian parliamentary debate. So this is the basic idea. Coming to British parliamentary debate, that what this British parliamentary debate looks like. In British parliamentary debate, 4 teams are there. So in APDs, Asian parliamentary, just 2 teams, government and opposition. In British parliamentary debate, 4 teams will be there. 2 teams from government side, 2 teams from opposition side. And each team will just have 2 members. So unlike APD, where 3 members were there, in BPD, 2 members will be in each team. 4 teams are opening government, opening opposition, closing government, closing opposition. So in APD, there was government, opposition. In BPD, it will be opening government, opening opposition, closing government, closing opposition. And that's how flow of speeches also go. So the opening government will have 2 speakers, prime minister and deputy prime minister, the way they were in APD. APD में एक एक्स्ट्रा स्पीकर विप होता था, BPD में ओपनिंग गवर्नमेंट के पास वो विप नहीं होगा, सिर्फ 2 स्पीकर्स होंगे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड डेप्यूटी प्राइम मिनिस्टर. ओपनिंग ऑपोजिशन के पास भी सिमिलरली लाइक एपीडी सिर्फ 2 स्पीकर्स होंगे, लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन, डेप्यूटी लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन, विप नहीं होगा. दिस इज द फॉर्मेट ऑफ बीपीडी इन द फर्स्ट हाफ, दैट इज ओपनिंग गवर्नमेंट एंड ओपनिंग ऑपोजिशन. उसके बाद आता है क्लोजिंग गवर्नमेंट. क्लोजिंग गवर्नमेंट के पास 2 स्पीकर्स होंगे. पहला स्पीकर होगा मेंबर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, सेकेंड स्पीकर विल बी गवर्नमेंट विप. और तब आएगा क्लोजिंग ऑपोजिशन. दे विल ऑल्सो हैव 2 मेंबर्स. पहला होगा मेंबर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन and then opposition whip. So you understand that in BPs, 2 members per team, 4 teams in a round, 2 teams are from government side, opening government, closing government, 2 teams are from opposition side, opening opposition, closing opposition. So similarly, flow of debate goes like this. First speech will be given by prime minister from opening government. Second speech from leader of opposition of opening opposition. Third speech from deputy prime minister from opening government. Fourth speech from deputy leader of opposition from opening opposition. First half is done. Then the debate moves to second half. In second half, closing government's first speaker, that is member of government, will give his speech. Then member of opposition from closing opposition will give his speech. Then government whip from closing government will give his speech. Then closing opposition's last speaker, that is opposition whip, will give his speech. Every speech 7 minutes 20 seconds long, similarly like APDs. In BPD, you will get 15 minutes of preparation time. In APD, you used to get 30 minutes. In BPD, you will get 15 minutes. Logic is more or less that since इसमें सिर्फ 2 members हैं, तो कम time you need to discuss. You don't have 3 people, 3 ideas. when you have three people, three ideas, then you need little bit extra time. When you just have two people in a team, then you don't need a lot of extra time. So 15 minutes looks sufficient, and that's why in BPDs you have 15 minutes of preparation time, and then you come into debate, and that's how flow of debating goes. I understand that a lot of things तुम्हारे को समझ तुम्हारे दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा होगा अभी कि कैसे होता है, स्पीकर कौन देगा, मेंबर कौन है, क्या है. These things come and get clear when you start debating, when you see any individual debating. So जब तुम demo debate देखोगे, so when you will get into your universities, your law schools, so your seniors will obviously arrange orientation and demo debate for you. When you will see those demo debates, then you will understand how this flow goes. But if you want to see these demo debates right now also, a lot of debates are available on YouTube. So you can just type UADC finals, ABP finals, Australs finals, WDC finals, or WDC semi-final, UADC semi-final, WDC 2020 quarterfinals. So you will get a lot of videos on YouTube. So you can see and understand कि कैसे flow of debate होता है, and that will be kind of a demo debate which you will be seeing. So a lot of plethora of material is available on YouTube. If you guys can find it, good. If you cannot find, you guys can comment down in this, like below this comment or video, and I'll try to tag few or attach few videos or few rounds and all those things so you can watch. But I think that you guys can find it on your own if you want. So just go ahead and type WDC 2020 semi-final round and you'll get a BPD format debating. Just go ahead and type UADC 2020 semi-final, you'll get an APD format. So you will get everything on YouTube. There are videos. So these particular format, that what BPD and APD and how this works, is something which gets clear when you start debating, when you see people debating. On a basic level, it is that simply that in APD 2 teams, in BPD 4 teams, in APD 2 teams of 3 members in each, in BPD 4 teams of 2 members each. Then role fulfillment and all those things, which will take a lot of time if I start explaining right now. But essentially on a basic level, I have told you guys that it is about explaining your own case and then rebutting your opposition's case. So that is largely debating is all about. So you analyze a lot of things which you're speaking, you just not go